Howdy ho, folks. This is Sami from Ensiferum, and you are listening to Brutally Delicious. Stay tuned and nuts out!
Brutally delicious!
Hey, you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast. I am Bruce.
And I'm Chris. You may have heard in our last episode, or a episode, where Davey Suicide called us the brutally what?
The Brutally Bullshit.
The Brutally Bullshit podcast, and that's what we do.
I guess you could take it either way. Well, if you're listening, I don't care what you call us.
No, thanks for listening. We've recently learned that we broke the 4-person mark.
Yes, we broke the 4-person mark. So thank you to our, I'm not going to name the number because I don't want to get it out there, but thank you to the quickest rising podcast on the internet.
Oh, yeah, it's through the frickin' roof.
With the greatest fans in the world.
Oh, yeah, our fans are the best.
And that's why we do this, because we have the best fans in the world. So thanks for listening. Today we've got Ensiferum Today we've got Ensiferum coming to join us. We'll go ahead and get them on the line here shortly. I don't know if you've, I think you've seen these guys on the boat, right?
Yeah, I have.
Really, really great folk metal. I mean, I guess it's not for everybody, but I kind of love it. They got all kinds of different instruments and melodies and death metal all mingled together. It's pretty great.
You know what? I checked them out before I saw them live, and I was like, yeah, okay. But when you see them live, there's just like this folk energy. It's so fun, you know?
Yeah.
And it kind of grabs you, and suddenly you're like, you know what? This is amazing. So
yeah, I agree. I guess if you've made it this far in our 50-something episode, I want to thank you for listening. We've taken our listeners on quite a run, right?
Man, you know what? When you first asked me to be a part of this, I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm a fucking house husband. Let's talk to some metal musicians. And then the more that we did it, the more I found just how much I love doing it. You know, I look forward to our recording sessions, I guess you can call them, or the interviews.
Yeah.
You know, like
we've talked to some great people too. So
give me your top 3 to 5 moments you've had this year doing this podcast.
All right, the best one to me, and no offense to anybody if you're listening, probably none of the artists are listening anyway, but my favorite one of all was the Allegiant one. I never laughed so hard my whole life. Riley was amazing, and I've never laughed so hard my whole life.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Because I think that might have been the point we took the whole thing south. Like we started off with Sorcerer, and we were trying to be like upstanding citizens and tell me about whatever, and then all of a sudden we realized nobody cares. We're going to go down the dark path, and from then on, and I think we've referenced Riley in probably 9 out of 10 podcasts since then.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that was the real turning point for this podcast. Was that interview.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but I don't know if we turned the corner for the worse or the better. But for me, that was the point where I was like, "Holy shit, this is fun!"
Yeah, absolutely.
I also liked the one we did with was it Richard McDeed, the dude who was taking his cerebral palsy son around the country.
Oh yeah, that was a really good one. That was a really special one. That one.
That was moving, and I kind of liked. It's a tie between Tom Cardwell or Viram Swami. We did those 2 professors from Europe. I never expected to get those kind.
I forgot about those ones. Those were great too.
Yeah, and Michael Beinhorn. I mean, it's pretty hard to decide where we want to, what my favorites are. But I think the one I laughed the absolute most in was that. Oh, you know who was really good too? My own Will. We totally caught him so off guard. He had no idea what to think.
Yeah, absolutely. There's been some great ones, really.
Yeah, I think we've done a stellar job, if I do say so myself, of getting the good artists on the air, both small and large, and not only getting the common information out of them, but getting all kinds of other cool shit out of them.
For those of you that don't know, Bruce is the guy that gets the talent. I'm just the talent.
There you go.
Okay, for me, I think probably the funniest moment that we've had was who was that band that answered? He answered the phone on the shitter.
It was Henry Sanchez, but what band was he from?
Oh God, I'm trying to remember because
Yes.
I didn't know the band. I just remember him like answering the phone on the shitter.
He was like, "Hey, wait a second."
Oh, Sangre.
Yep.
Sangre.
And Henry Sanchez from Sangre answered the phone on the bowl. That was great. That's how much respect we command, I guess.
Yeah. And then I think number 2 for me, just from a personal standpoint, was Tom Kiefer. That
was a great.
That to me,
it's hard to tell. They're so good.
That to me was just about as inspiring as the cerebral palsy one because of all of the shit that guy's had to go through to just be able to do what he wants to do. You know,
right?
Like, how many vocal surgeries did he say he had? 11. Like,
yeah, great. And he still put out one of the. I mean, that record made, not that it matters, but it made my top 10 of the year because it was just so fucking great.
Yeah, and then another one which kind of went under the radar, but it's one I'll always remember, was Scott Sinclair from Sin MG. You know, that one started out kind of slow, and then I brought up the fact that they were sponsored by tequila, and it just went off the fucking rails.
Right. That's what I totally love. Like, we get all these people on, and we're like, they think they're getting into like a regular podcast, and then we start taking it south. And I think at first people don't know where to go with it, and then if they relax enough and they play along, it gets to be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, but there's just so many, like Paul Allender. Like,
oh yeah.
Like when we talked to Paul, I wasn't ready for like, oh, you know, I started this whole thing or I'm mentoring metal musicians, and he went off on this thing, and I was just like, Jesus, you know, there's just so many good ones.
And at the end of the day, I mean, like I said, we've talked to a lot of, new bands like the Senya and that kind of thing, all the way up to, Cradle of Filth and that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it's great. And My Own Will too. I mean, what a band.
Yeah, I still dig listening to them. So overall, I think it's been a good, we've been at it like 6 months. I think it's been a great 6 months. And if you're listening and you're one of those regulars, I appreciate you.
So anyways, I was going to say the Oculum Day podcast, the 4th one we did. I think
with Josh.
That's the one where we first started kind of figuring out who we were, you know?
Yeah.
Like the first 3 we did, we were just like fish out of water. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here? Now.
But I think it's like anything, you kind of need to find your voice, right?
Absolutely.
And I think we found it. The Irreverency is perfect, even though we do serious ones like the Ludwig one and the Michael Beinhorn one and that sort of thing.
Yeah. But even the Michael Beinhorn one was so illuminating, talking about how he records and all that stuff. Another fun one that I thought was the Heavy Pettin podcast, episode 17.
Oh, yes, that guy was great.
He was so good. He was so excited. Remember, he's speaking with that he was speaking with the Irish accent. And then I'm like, oh, are you an Islander? He's like, no, I live in Texas. And I was just like...
Yeah, we've definitely had our share of fun. And even if nobody was listening, or just Dale and Christina, I've had a blast doing it, and I want to keep doing them as we go on. So,
and it says, find out what Chris is putting on his dog's paws. What was I putting on my dog's paws?
Oh, where the hell was that at? You were putting Vagisil on your dog's paws.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That was a fun story. I've also had emails about the story where people were puking and shitting in the airport.
Sorry about this, guys.
So I had somebody call me and tell me, actually it was Christina, I think. She called and told me, she's like, oh my God, I wasn't ready for that. I was drinking my coffee and I nearly spit it everywhere. So in the end, I hope you appreciate it. Thanks for listening. Happy holidays and whatever you celebrate. And we'll be back in January.
Oh, we will be back in January. Well, by the time they hear all these, it will be January.
Yeah, I'm going to try and bust them all off in January so we start off fresh.
Oh, cool. We've got to discover some great bands. What are some bands that you got through this podcast where you really were like, wow, this is killer?
Two of them. I like Oculum Day, even though they're a bit extreme. I think Oculum Day was one of my favorites. And, definitely, we referenced it already. My Own Will was definitely a big one. And Visenya I liked.
Yeah, absolutely. For me,
So yeah,
it
it's been
was
great. What?
Wild Street. We
Oh
did
yeah,
with Eric Jake.
yeah,
I can't stop listening to Tennessee Cocaine. I
yes,
fucking love that song.
yep.
My Own Will as well. Like that band blew me right out of the water when I was prepping for that interview. So good. Those are probably the top two. But we've had so many good ones. Like Aaron Lee of Killing Candace was on.
Forgot about it. See, when you start going back through them, it's hard to tell anymore.
Oh man, you know what else was a great podcast? I don't even know how to say this. Yanni Papadopoulos.
Yeah, Scott Stapp's guitarist.
Yeah, that guy was just so excited all the time. It was fucking great.
What a nice guy. Yep.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we could pull something out of every single episode we've done this year, you know?
The thing is, like you said, when we first started, I never imagined that, we'd be getting some of the artists we're getting, and I never imagined anybody would even take it seriously. It was just kind of, let's see what happens. But
yeah,
I guess we're doing it.
How many people that run a podcast get asked to interview Bill Ludwig III?
Oh yeah, or Dave Lombardo.
Or Dave Lombardo. Fuck, how did I forget Dave Lombardo?
What about Dave Lombardo? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
I mean, that's
okay. I got to rearrange my top five.
What is sweet? I mean, we talked not about his stuff at all. We talked about Cuban immigrants.
Yeah, and his movie scoring and yeah, just unbelievable.
The immortal words of Jerry Garcia. What a long, strange trip it's been.
Yeah. And you know, another interesting one was Tulip with Ashley and Colin. Because
yeah, but see that I ended up dropping off, and then because my tech didn't work that day, and you guys were talking about me living in the country and chasing chickens or something. When I went,
yeah, but they were fellow Canadians that moved to Texas. And it was a weird conversation because they used to be like super religious and then they got kicked out of their church. You know, and these are conversations that you don't normally happen in interviews, you know, like it's not about the record or the artwork or the live show. We're talking
to hear other stuff.
Yeah, we're talking to people personally, and I think that's what really kind of helps us get where we're going. So,
well, awesome. Again, I want to thank everybody for listening, and Chris, I do hope you have a fantastic holiday.
You too, brother.
How's it going? I'm fine. Yeah.
Where are you guys at today? You're in Kentucky?
We are in Lexington.
Lexington, wow. Kentucky.
It's cold there? Well, I guess cold is relevant for you, but what's the weather like in Lexington, Kentucky?
All right.
What's the weather like there in Lexington, Kentucky?
It's good. Nice and warm. Sun shines and
I guess it's warm for you though, right? Because you're coming from somewhere by the North Pole.
well, quite close. But yeah, I gotta enjoy it for like last few days. Yeah, it's 4 show to go and then back to home, and it's gonna be fucking dark there.
How's the tour going so far?
So far, so good. It's been a very mellow tour. I mean, we share the bus with Kalmar guys, and they're old geezers like us. So it's been a lot of fun.
Not much of a party bus then, huh?
Well, a bit, but not too much. You know, we learned our lesson. We're not 18 anymore. And yeah. We know our limits.
Yeah, you can't keep up with that over the years. It'll get to you.
Exactly. Which is kind of sad, but on the other hand, it's nice to do good shows and not be totally hangover and so on.
Yeah, the crowd's pretty good.
Yeah, the crowd's been really good, and that's what I really love about this package. It's 4 bands that are all a bit different, so it's very versatile evening of metal for the crowd, and I'm quite sure many people have found new bands on this tour. I mean, if people who come to see us or come to see Kalmar or Abigail Williams or Animus, they might not listen to the other bands when they're at home, so I think it's a very good chance to find new bands.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Well, that's actually what happened to me with you guys. I went on I went on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and I've been on it many times, And I was just hanging out on the pool deck, and then you guys started playing, and next thing I know, I'm in the fucking pit. And I'm having the time of my fucking life drinking beer. I was just like, this is amazing, you know?
Well, thank you. Yeah, well, 7,000 Tongues is really something unique.
Yeah, I saw you guys on 2011 on the pool deck as well, the first time when it was out of Miami.
Oh, shit, I had terrible hangover then. We were on the tour with Fintroll. Oh, yo, I remember that show.
Yeah, well, that was my first turn on to you guys, and I was a fan since, so.
Well, good. So
Even though you were
the illusion.
Well, yeah, nice. Chris?
How many times have you guys been on that cruise now?
I think 4. I think we were the first band ever to be there on the 4th time. Because we were on the very first then.
Yeah.
And then it's been every couple of years we've been there.
Amazing.
I saw Kalma there, I don't know, 2 years ago, maybe? 3 years ago? I don't know. I saw them too on the boat. My first turn on to them as well, and I loved them.
Yeah, I think it was last year or this year. You know, the years go so fast as when you get this old.
And when you tour like tons, it's got to be a lot. How did you find hanging out with all the fans on the boat like that? Just that I'm always curious, you know, like.
I like it. I mean, we're all just human beings. So I remember the very first time when we were there. We were sitting in a bar, and they're like, "Oh, in the next table, there's guys from Blind Guardian," and it's just casual, and I really like it. But I think that's anyway in a metal scene that there's not that much this. How would I call it? Kind of idolizing.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like. You know, everybody's shit smells bad.
Talk about that all the time on the show, how it's just one big metal community, no matter where you're from. And I imagine you see it like when you play the festivals in Europe, when you see it on the boat. Everybody is just a family.
Exactly, it's the same thing. And I mean, in the festivals, I always go, you know, to see bands myself. And I actually even got my black eye. A few years ago, I was in a mosh pit of Faith No More show. And
oh wow!
Festival.
How do you Faith No More is actually they're going to tour again? They said.
Yes, I'm very happy for that.
Yeah,
it's one of my all-time favorite bands.
Really?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, they're a great band. I was just shocked to see them do it. I think it's all the original members too, is it not? I think it is.
That I don't know.
I think so.
Mike Pat is everything though. That guy is in like so many different things.
Oh yeah,
that's so true. He's very what's the word? Inspiring person because he's like, all around everything. I saw him do this. What was it called? Mondocane or something like. He was doing this Italian.
Oh really?
The songs in Finland one year in a festival. That's super cool. I really love that he has like this credibility no matter what he does.
Yeah, because even like the punk stuff, Ed Cross stuff with Dave Lombardo is fantastic.
Exactly. You can see that passion for music. You got to respect the man.
If I'm wrong, he was in Mr. Bungle too, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. He's done a lot.
I remember I saw Mr. Bungle in Stockholm because they didn't come to Helsinki. That was many, many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Early 2000. And we went to see them in Stockholm. And there was the great Mike Patton, you know, reeling his own cables after the show. It's like, dude, how down to earth is this guy?
Right.
He came to talk with us and took pictures and that was like when Faith No More was huge also.
And he was wrapping his own cable?
Yeah. After the show, he was still there.
That's awesome.
And they had a drinking contest. Like they want to have Finn, Swede, and a Norwegian on stage.
Who won?
Finn, obviously.
Hey, if it's going to be cold and dark all year, you have to have something to do, right?
Yeah, you need to keep yourself warm, and you cannot have sex all the time.
So, Sammy, I know you kind of mentioned it. We discussed it a little bit, but do you find it more difficult to keep at it as the years go on, or is it you're getting used to it now?
You mean touring itself?
Yeah, just hitting the road, and I mean, I imagine as you age, it's got to take its toll on you at some point, right?
I would say it depends how you use your time, because on the tour, you have so much time to kill. Of course, there's a lot of traveling, which means that you're not actually moving at all. So it really kind of fucks up your back and all the muscles, and you're just sore if you just sit in the bus and sit in the backstage, and especially if you keep drinking all the time, then you just have a hangover and you're just sore and you're pissed off. And it's really up to yourself how you use your time. Like I actually don't drink that much on tours anymore.
Right.
Because for me, the main thing is to do good shows and have fun and have good interaction with the fans during the show.
Right.
So I actually do yoga on every tour.
Oh,
Every
cool.
day
Nice.
I try to do. And if there's possibility, I'll go for a walk and see the city. And for me, I actually enjoy touring now more than actually when I was younger. I always loved it, but I hate traveling when I have hangover. So but back in the days, that was daily thing.
Yeah, I bet. When you're young and touring, though, that's part of the allure of going on tour is just partying every day.
Exactly. There's the illusion. You can keep do that, but
and then one day you wake up and you're like, I can't fucking do this anymore.
Yeah.
And at some point, it's a job, right? You got to do your thing, or you're not gonna have a job.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's also the respecting the fans. I mean, people pay to see your show, and if the show is shitty, and you just have like a bunch of hangover guys on stage, it's like that's really disrespecting the fans also.
Yeah, I 100% agree, because they can choose to go see anybody. If they come see you, they want to see a good show.
Exactly. And that's what I have another band called Metal De Facto, power metal band. We just released the first album.
Yeah.
Some time ago, like in November. And our singer and keyboard player, they're like 20-something. So I'm really looking forward to get on really looking forward to get on the road with them, because it's going to be fun to see now that I'm old and grumpy.
You'll be doing yoga and sitting on your mat, and they'll be pounding the beers.
Exactly. It's going to be fun to see them waking up in a terrible hangover. Like, shit, I lost my voice because I was drinking until 5 a.m. vodka. And then I can say, ha ha ha, I told ya.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I always wonder about metal festivals. Like, everyone is so drunk for the whole time. Any metal festival, it's just like in 2011 on 70,000 Tons of Metal, they ran out of beer.
Yeah, the very first year, they ran out of alcohol before we left the port of Miami.
Yeah, I know. And then they ran out again before they hit the port in Cozumel.
Yes.
and
the
bands were a part of that in 2011, and I often wonder, how do they get up there and just fucking kick ass like that still?
I don't know. I think it's a lot of practice. But on the other hand, even though on a metal festival people are drunk and we're hairy and we look ugly and so on, metalheads, but metal festivals generally are the most peaceful festivals that there is.
I 100% agree. Yep.
Yeah, like in Finland, we have this legendary metal festival called Tuska, which means pain. It's in the very center of Helsinki.
Okay.
It's been going on for years. And the police and authorities, they love it. Because there are never fights. People behave, even though they're shit-faced. People are just in a good mood enjoying metal music. And then they say, like, compared to, like, festival where you have, like, mixed genres, you have,
fist fights.
Yeah. You do stupid shit, and that sucks, because people go to festival generally to have a good time, so it sucks that...
and in the end...
for the atmosphere.
Yeah. In the end, as an outsider, people think that it's because it's so aggressive and it's so loud and whatever, that it's a violent, dangerous place, but it's exactly the opposite.
Absolutely.
Which I think is great.
Yeah, me too.
So, what do you guys have? What do you got? Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just going to ask an equipment question, but you can go ahead.
No,
Chris.
I know you're scared. Go ahead.
I'm such a geek. So, I see on your wiki page here that you're using 5 and 6 string basses.
Actually, 6 and 7. But yeah,
6 and 7 now?
yeah, I had a couple of 7-string also. Oh yeah, actually I have 1 5.
When did
But
you
yeah,
when you first started, obviously you probably started on a 4-string?
yes.
And when did you kind of move up to the 5-string or
I actually
6-string?
went straight to 6, and it was maybe not so smart move. That was a long time ago, back in 90 something. I had a gig on the same day with the death metal band that I was playing at that time. So I went straight from 5 to 6,
Oh
and I had
god.
the show on the same night. So that did not go well. I was so lost with all the strings.
There's one way to learn, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it was I can't pinpoint just one reason, but now that I think about it, at that time there was starting to become like bands that had like very heavy sound
Yeah.
and like drop tune, and that became more popular. So I was really fascinated by that to get like lower. And on the other hand, I have 2 big brothers, and the other one actually taught me to play. He plays guitar, and he was like super good over. He was playing Yngwie Malmsteen stuff when he was like a teenager,
Wow.
and so I was also fascinated by like doing like high and kind of fat stuff. So the extra string for the high end also was very intriguing. So there was not nobody actually told me that you should go that way. I think I just saw the bass in because that time I was poor as a motherfucker. Well, I still am. I was still studying then, but I gave my like really good bass and my bass amp to get the 6-string bass, and I still had to pay some money in between. So there I was. I had 6-string bass, but no amp. So that was a different story to get that. But yeah, I really wanted it. It was something really cool. My first 6-string was Warwick Corvette, so at least I had a Corvette.
Every rock star needs a Corvette, even if it's a
Yeah.
bass. Well,
So, what do you guys have planned for after this? I know you got the holidays coming up, but what do you guys have planned for 20?
Actually, we don't have that much holiday. I think when we get home, in 2 days of that, we're gonna head to rehearsal room again. We're gonna continue working with the new songs because early January we're gonna hit the studio with Ensiferum.
Oh, really? That quick?
Yeah.
Wow.
So actually, yesterday we had a day off, and me and Markus is the founder and the main composer of the band. So we spent like the whole day in a hotel trying to work out the missing parts and of the songs, and so yeah, looking good.
So staying busy then. I mean, the release just came out a couple years ago, right? Maybe a year and a half ago?
Yeah, it's not that long, but
Wow, that's great.
It takes so long for the kind of labels to put stuff out nowadays.
Yeah.
I just heard that like in States, one new issue is that because vinyls are selling okay-ish,
yeah.
Right.
and of course labels want to have the vinyl version also out on the same day. But this year, 2 big companies that manufacture vinyls, they quit. So there's like a very long queue now in the
Oh, wow.
producing your manufacturing your vinyls. So it might be like when you deliver the master of the album and with the cover, the booklet, and everything.
Right.
Still might take like 4 to 6 months to actually get it out. Because,
Shit, that long?
yeah, but we hope it will be out early summer.
Right.
And then we're gonna have festivals, and in the autumn 2020 we're gonna start touring again. So no rest
busy.
for the weekend.
Yeah, that's good though.
How long?
It is.
How long is the recording process going to take for you guys?
I guess 5-6 weeks, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. We are very privileged actually to have this kind of chance to do things on this level. Anyway, to be like a full-time musician, it's not something that you can take as granted nowadays.
Oh no, not
God,
these
no.
days for sure.
Are you guys going to record the tape again?
Let's just say the production and everything will be quite different from the last 2 albums. Because,
Oh wow.
We've always been a band that we don't want to repeat ourselves, at least in our own minds. Of course, for somebody who's not into our music, I guess every album sounds the same. But
Right.
in our minds, at least for us, we want to try new things and go forward.
Awesome.
Yeah, for this album, I really think it's going to be a positive surprise.
Oh, I
That's
can't
great.
wait. Okay.
So, if you don't have anything else, Chris, I've just got a couple other not funny ones, but just a couple questions
Sure.
off the record.
I'm good.
But so, if you were stranded on a deserted island and could take 3 records with you for the rest of your life, assuming you had a solar-powered player, what would they be?
That's a tough one. I guess I would go. I just say something now. Iron Maiden, Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Dark Tranquility, The Gallery, and I guess some actually compilation from Björk.
Oh yeah,
Cool.
that's of things.
Yeah.
I've never really listened to too much Björk, but I know of her and I've heard of her. So
I used to hate her stuff when I was in high school. I just thought it was artificial, artistic shit. I actually remember.
Right?
I remember the day when it hit me. I was vacuuming my apartment and I had a radio on or something, and her song "Bachelorette" came from there, and I just had to stop the vacuum cleaner, sit on the sofa, and it was like enlightenment. I was like, "Fuck, this is a good song." And then I actually gave her other stuff another chance, and yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Of course, I don't think there's any artist whose all songs are magnificent,
Sure.
Well, except yours.
Right. Except
Well, thank you. You're a good liar.
that is all I've got. Chris, do you have anything else?
I don't, man. I really appreciate you taking the time and chatting with us today all the way from Lexington, Kentucky.
Pleasure is all mine. And you guys are very lucky because we had so much problems with internet during this tour. And luckily, in this venue, there's a really good one. So we could actually...
Great.
Hey, man, safe travels, happy holidays, and we look forward to new stuff next year.
All right. All the best, gentlemen.
All the best.
Thank you very
Cheers.
much. Righto. Bye.
Bye.
You there, Chris?
I'm here.
Wow, we ended on a good note.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah, that was a good one, too. So, perfect. We're all done.
Okay,
Happy
I'll put
fans.
these. I'll
Bounce
put these.
that one over. I guess well done. We've done it.
All right, we made it through the first 6 months of the Brutally Delicious podcast.
Stay tuned for Volume 2, or version 2.0, or whatever the hell it's going to be.
Oh, we're taking it to another level, baby.
Yeah, it's going to be Furious 6 now. All right, man. Have a good day.
Okay, talk to you soon, chat.
Later. Bye.
Hello out there. Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.